Okay, welcome back to Benji's Kitchen. I've had a little bit of a break because I've been quite busy with work. We're going to try and start doing a few things again. So my auntie rang me last night and asked me if I could do a dish using honey because she has bees and she sells her own honey. So I said, okay, short notice, but we'll do the best we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pork meat ball. With some steamed rice, bok choy, asparagus, and coriander, honey, and green onion sauce. So we'll start off with preparing the asparagus. Actually, we've got a slice of bread. We're going to put that water in that. So let that soak. That'll go into the minced pork. Now, asparagus. People say, oh, the asparagus were tough. The way to tell if the asparagus, where to cut it, is you just touch the knife on. See, it's not cutting through. There, cut through. So that's where it's not tough. What I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to cut them on an angle because it's for appearance. It's going to be for appearance. So this one again, cut through quite easily. Just cut up those asparagus. Right, the bok choy, I also want to cut a little bit thin, so I'm just going to cut it into thirds. It'll just present a little bit better for this purpose. So cut them up. Alright, put them to the side. Next is the bread. Should be soaked enough. I use gluten-free bread, being celiac. So we squeeze the water out gently so you don't lose half your bread. Tip the water out. Just flake the bread up. Sometimes the crust is still a bit hard, but that's okay. Just break it up. Now this will help the meatballs bind. So I don't need to do too much, so I'm going to put probably, that's about 250 grams, so I'm going to put about 120, 130 grams. It'll be enough for one person. So I'm just going to mix that up. And also, we'll just put a little bit of garlic, not too much, because you don't want to overpower the honey sauce. So I've just picked a small clove. It'll just give those meatballs a little bit of flavour. We're not going to use chili or anything like that because you don't want to take away from the honey. And the coriander is going to be quite flavoursome anyway. So, and I love garlic, so that goes in. Just mix it around. You'll see that the pork I got is fairly dry, so it's good quality. You can add a little bit of water if you want to, but I don't think I need to. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make these into little balls, and you can wet your hands to make it a little bit easier to roll them. I'm going to do them like that. So I'll roll all of these up, and I'll get them in a pan and I'll get back to you. Alrighty, so the meatballs are rolled up, the wok's on the heat, and I'm going to cut the spring onion. It's about 2 spring onions, and cut them on a very fine, on a longish angle, so very diagonal. I don't know what I'm saying here. I guess it looks a bit Asian style. Just have them like that, to the side. Now while you're off camera, I actually did season the meatballs and some salt and a little bit of soy, as usual, and some coriander. So just chop that up, just rough, nothing too special about it. That with the spring onions. Alright, we'll get the meatballs on, I'll come back to you. Alrighty. So we've got the meatballs. The wok's hot, yep. Pop them in, just gently. There's a little bit of oil in there. And we let them cook. So we'll leave them, I'll take a few minutes. And I'll get back to you. Alright, so they've been about 3 minutes I suppose. I'm just going to turn them over now. Got a nice colour on them. You want that nice golden colour. What I'll do now is I'm going to put a lid on top of them because I want them to steam through. And I'll turn the heat down a little so they don't burn. Just turn the heat down. They're going to steam through. When they're cooked, we'll take them off. We'll prepare our vegetable, then our sauce, and our rice will heat up and it'll be done. Get back to when they're ready. Alright, so those meatballs are ready now. So I'm going to put them on a plate gently so you don't break them. I have rinsed this plate. Everyone's thinking, oh, you had raw meat on that. We're going to put it back in the sauce anyway, which will make it hot. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use that oil to stir fry our veg, which will be perfect. It's already nice and hot. Turn it up, cranking. Need to put a little bit of salt in. Oh, probably a good pinch. Then put in your bok choy and asparagus. Toss it around. I like to put a little bit of rice wine. Just stop the frying process. Put it on top. Let it steam. You can just use water if you like, and it'll steam in the water. That looks nice. Let's cook them up. So we'll just move those to the side. Now our sauce. So we're going to put a little bit of water, in first, so that we don't burn the honey. A little bit of water. Good squeeze of honey. Probably, I don't know. It depends how much you like. I'm not a massive sweet fan. Whoops. This popped off. It's probably a teaspoon or two. I'd rather use my auntie's honey, but I haven't got any, so that was a little hint, Auntie Jen. So all we do is just heat that up. Now, potato starch. If we don't thicken this, what will happen is it'll just run straight off everything. You won't even see it. So we're going to just put a little potato starch in water. Not too much because it'll go gluggy. And that'll coat down. So it's better consistency. Taste. Yeah, good. You can taste the honey. It needs a little bit more. So it's just up to your taste. If your honey's stuck in there, just stick it in the microwave for a second. So that's reduced nicely. Some more honey in there. Probably just quite enough to do this dish. As I said, it was a last minute call up, so alright, that should be okay. Coriander and spring onion. Pop that in. Maybe a little more water. Put the water in here. Just give it a go. Yeah. And now we plate up. So we just heated our rice up in a bowl. If you can see that or not. Heated our rice up in a bowl. And we poured our veggies on. Around the side. Our meatballs. I've turned that sauce off already. Geez, that'll be enough for one person. Sauce on top. And voila, you have it. So it's sort of a bit of a spin-off from honey chicken, I suppose. But that's what you've got. So you've got your pork meatballs with honey, spring onion and coriander sauce, steamed rice, stir-fried bok choy and asparagus. Enjoy. And a funky plate to go with it.